All right, picture this. You're stopped at a railroad crossing, watching this monster of a freight train just roll on by. It feels like it's never going to end, right? But have you ever really looked at the cars? I mean, really noticed how different they all are? Well, today, we're going to decode those cars, because each and every one is a specialized tool that honestly powers our entire world.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're just sitting there, waiting, and this massive train just keeps on coming. Car after car after car. And as you're watching it go by, you can't help but wonder.
Why do they all look so incredibly different? Why is one this giant cylinder, the next one is just a flat platform, and the one after that looks kind of like a giant bathtub on wheels? Well, I'll tell you what, it is absolutely not random. There's a brilliant, brilliant logic behind all of it.
And that right there, that's the whole key. You got to stop thinking of a freight train as just one single thing. Instead, think of it like a really long chain of super specialized tools. Every single car is engineered to do one specific job, to carry one specific type of cargo safely and super efficiently. So let's get into it. Let's decode these rolling workhorses.
Okay, let's kick things off with the real workhorses, the most versatile and classic designs you're pretty much guaranteed to see on any train.
And first up, you have the icon itself, the boxcar. I love this one. It's basically a warehouse on wheels. This is the original jack-of-all-trades of the entire rail world.
So the whole design here is about one thing: security. It's completely enclosed, it's got those huge sliding doors, and that protects all the valuable cargo inside from bad weather and, of course, from theft. This is the go-to car for just about everything, from the giant rolls of paper that'll become your favorite books to the pallets of electronics heading to the shelves of your local store.
But, okay, what happens when your cargo is just too big, or too long, or maybe just a super awkward shape that's never going to fit inside a box? Well, for that, you need the exact opposite approach. You need a flat car.
And this is literally how we move the things that build our world. That simple, super sturdy flat deck. It's perfect for hauling enormous things. We're talking massive concrete pipes for a new city project, military tanks on their way to a port, or even those gigantic blades for a wind turbine. And you see those tie-down points? Absolutely essential for making sure nothing moves an inch.
All right, now let's check out a really clever evolution of the flat car. This is the center beam car. It was designed to solve a very specific and very important problem for the construction industry.
You see that huge I-beam running right down the middle? That's the genius of this design. It provides amazing structural stability and creates these two perfect loading zones on either side. It's ideal for stacking bundled stuff like lumber or wallboard. But there's a catch. You have to load both sides evenly, otherwise, the whole thing could tip right over.
Get this, a single one of these center beam cars can haul 200,000 pounds of material. Now, to put that into perspective for you, that's like taking 25 heavy-duty pickup trucks, loading them to the max, and putting it all into one super efficient package. That's just incredible.
All right, let's shift gears a bit. We've talked about packaged goods and oversized stuff. Now let's get into the cars that are designed to move absolute mountains of loose materials.
And first up in this category, we have the gondola. So if a boxcar is a warehouse on wheels, I want you to think of a gondola as just a giant, super heavy-duty steel bin on wheels. Yeah, it's basically this rugged, open-top tub that is built to take an absolute beating. It's perfect for really dense, heavy cargo that doesn't care one bit about the rain. We're talking scrap metal, gravel, giant steel beams, you name it. And since there are no doors on the bottom, everything has to be lifted out from the top, usually with these massive cranes or crazy powerful electromagnets.
Okay, next up is a car that is all about one thing: ultimate efficiency when it's time to unload. Meet the hopper car, the undisputed self-emptying champion of the rails.
The whole secret here is gravity. You see, the floors inside are sloped, so they funnel the entire load down to these gates at the very bottom. So when it's time to unload, you just open the gates and whoosh, the cargo just pours right out. It is an unbelievably fast and efficient way to handle loose stuff, and it saves a ton of time and labor.
Now, hoppers basically come in two main flavors. You've got your open-top hoppers for stuff like coal or gravel that can handle getting a little wet. And then you have the covered hoppers. These are for things that absolutely cannot get wet. Think about the grain that becomes our food, or the cement used to build our cities. That cover might seem like a small difference, but it completely changes the entire purpose of the car.
So we've gone from open-air movers to something completely different. Now we're going to look at cars that are all about containment and control, designed to handle some of the most sensitive and, frankly, most crucial goods in our entire economy.
And yeah, the tank car is probably one of the most recognizable shapes you'll ever see on a train. Its purpose is really simple, but it is absolutely vital: to move liquids and gases safely from point A to point B.
You better believe these things are built to incredibly high safety standards, and for a very good reason. I mean, one car could be carrying something flammable, like gasoline, while the car right behind it might be holding something like food-grade vegetable oil. So that sealed, cylindrical design, it's all about preventing leaks and making sure that whatever's inside stays inside, safe and secure.
Okay, now here's a car that a lot of people mistake for a tanker. I mean, it kind of looks like one, right? But its job is totally different. This is the coil car.
So, that long, trough-like shape, it's not for liquids. It's actually a perfect cradle, and it's designed to hold these enormous, super heavy coils of rolled steel or copper. The shape is what keeps these things from shifting around during the trip. And yeah, sometimes you'll see them with a cover, but that's just to protect the really high-value metal from getting rained on.
All right, last but definitely not least, let's look at the car that single-handedly makes our modern food supply chain possible. This is the refrigerated car, but in the industry, everybody knows it as a reefer.
Now this thing is so much more than just an insulated box. It is literally a refrigerator on wheels. It can maintain a perfect, precise temperature for thousands of miles. It's the reason, the only reason, you can buy fresh strawberries from California in the middle of a New York winter. It's an absolutely critical link for everything from the food we eat to life-saving pharmaceuticals. Okay, so we've seen all these individual, super specialized cars. But how do they all fit into the bigger picture? You know, how do you get something from a factory in one country all the way to a store shelf in another? Well, that's where the real magic happens.
It all comes down to this incredible concept called intermodal transport. And the genius of it is so simple. Instead of moving the goods themselves over and over, you move the container the goods are in, from a ship to a train to a truck, and you never ever have to unpack it until the very end.
And this journey really shows you just how seamless the whole thing is. A container gets loaded up one time at the factory. From there, it might go on a ship, then get lifted by a giant crane onto a train for that long, efficient trip across the country. And then at the end, it gets popped onto a truck for what they call the last mile delivery. It is a true global ballet of logistics.
So the older way of doing this was called piggybacking, where you'd literally put the entire truck trailer, wheels and all, right onto a flat car. But the real game changer, the thing that revolutionized everything, is COFC, which stands for Container on Flat Car. By just moving the box and leaving the heavy wheels behind, you save a ton of weight and fuel. But here's the best part. It lets you double stack the containers. You can put one right on top of another, which instantly doubles the capacity of the entire train. Just brilliant.
So the next time you're stuck at that railroad crossing, I want you to remember what you're actually looking at. It's not just a train. It's a perfectly orchestrated system. It's a chain of mobile warehouses, rolling pipelines, and giant refrigerators all linked together. What you're really watching are the fundamental building blocks of our entire global economy, rolling right past you, hiding in plain sight.